All right, we are on week 3 of our challenge for memorizing passages of scripture throughout the year. And this week's passage comes from 2 Corinthians chapter 4, and it's verses 16 through 18. It reads, "Therefore we do not lose heart, even though our outward man is perishing, yet the inward man is being renewed day by day. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, is working for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. While we do not look at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporary, but the things which are not seen are eternal." And it's kind of a long one, but the verses in this and the ideas just tie in together so well that I think that's going to help us to have a pattern to more easily memorize it. And as I was thinking about this passage over the last couple of days, the first thing that really stands out to me about it is it starts out, "Therefore we do not lose heart." And the fact that our heart posture seems to be directly tied in these scriptures with where our focus is and what our perspective is. And because it talks about, we look at the things which are not seen, the things which are eternal, this light affliction, which a lot of times the things that we go through don't seem like a light affliction. It seems like very heavy, and unbearable kind of things that are actually described, throughout the scriptures, but and that we just experience in our walk. But it calls them a light afflictions and says they're just for a moment. And of course, in the larger picture, they would be just for a moment, even though, we might be struggling for years with sick family member, or, a child who's walked away, or like, marriage struggles, or persecution, or even just like getting through the day when your little one's been up since midnight, or things like that. But when we keep our focus on the actual truth of things and what the scripture tells us, that this is going to fade away quickly, but it's building in us something good, then that helps our heart. And so on that, therefore we do not lose heart. To me, that conveys a picture of when we are going through these struggles, to lose heart is like basically just to give up and to say, this is too much. It's not worth it, forget it, or just like despairing. And so I wanted to look at a couple of passages in the scriptures that are tied to this concept. Let's see. Okay, starting with Luke 21, and we're on verse 26. This is talking about like things to come. Jesus was telling them about the signs that you would see and stuff. But it says, "Men's hearts failing them from fear and the expectation of those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of the heavens will be shaken." So basically, they're having fear out of an expectation of what's coming. And these are true, real things that are coming. This is reality. Yet it's their fear, and basically this picture of like a really, being gripped with anxiety that causes their hearts to fail. And so again, we can see that there's this picture of the condition of your heart and your well-being tied to, in this instance, it's like fear and anxiety and dread of the future. And then I have another one here. Let's see. 1 Samuel 25 and verses 36 and 37. Okay. Then Abigail went to Nabal, or some say Nabal, And there he was in his house, holding a feast fit for a king. Nabal's heart was cheerful, and he was very drunk, so she didn't say anything to him until morning light. In the morning, when Nabal sobered up, his wife told him about these events. His heart died, and he became a stone. About 10 days later, the Lord struck Nabal dead. And so again, you have this drastic change where Nabal, he's partying it up, living it up. He thinks, he's just kind of on top of the world. His heart is cheerful. And then there comes about this change because Abigail, his wife, reports to him that, that his actions had dire consequences and she had to step in and save them, the backstory and all that. But basically, he heard this news that just installed dread in him and like a shock. And it says his heart died and he became a stone, and then he himself died 10 days later. And so even the way that we allow a situation or circumstance to affect us can affect our physical health and our heart condition, metaphorically, but also in a very physical and tangible way, as we can see here. And so, but that being said, we see in the scriptures that fear and anxiety and dread can have a detrimental impact on us and in our heart condition. But with this scripture, it's got the antidote. It says, do not lose heart. And even though the outward man is perishing, that's pretty strong, picture there. Like, I am perishing. But, if we look at what we can't see, the inward man is being renewed day by day, and we are, we have a weight of glory that's being built up for us. And the fact that these things are temporary, then our hearts won't fail us. We can have cheerful hearts too. And so with all that, that was just my kind of meditation so far, but I'll be going through it more this week. Let's go ahead and go over some memory devices. So here's my board, and I'll just go over the pictures here. So it says, therefore, we do not lose heart. This is a man. It's got a heart on it to help us remember, but he has very clearly, he's in a position of having lost heart. He's just in despair. And so then, even though our outward man, so this is arrows pointing outward, is perishing. This is a flower that's in bad shape, is dying, to help us remember perishing. Yet the inward man, so this arrows are pointing inward now, is being renewed day by day for our light affliction. So I just put a light bulb here. I figured that was a good little trigger reminder, even though it talks about affliction, to remember the word light affliction, which is but for a moment. There's just one moment in time on the clock, is working. Here's a guy working, and it looks like he's headed to a construction site, which I liked because it gives me this picture along with this scripture about, something being built in us. It's working for us a far more exceeding and eternal. So this is something that's just greater than we were anticipating, greater than it ever was before. It's increasing, so it's exceeding what it ever was before. A far more exceeding and eternal weight. There's just a guy lifting a weight of glory. Verse 18, while we do not, so there's the do not symbol, do not look at the things which are seen. This guy is looking at the things which are seen, and he looks like he is in a state of distress about it. But at the things which are not seen. For this one, this picture stood out to me because it's grass with roots underneath. You can't see anything above the surface. So if you're just on the ground, you'd have no idea something is growing under here. And there's a whole stream of water right under the surface. And so I like that as a picture of the things that we don't see. God is doing so much good for us that's just going to sprout up and grow up any moment. But these things which are not seen. For the things which are seen, just some eyeballs there, are temporary. This is a guy, he's got this little happy balloon, and all of a sudden he lost it. It floats away. Those balloons don't last very long. But the things which are not seen, again, our little not symbol, are eternal. And it's like a cross in the clouds, this picture of things that are eternal. Okay, so let's start with, how about we start with therefore? So it's always good to remember the first word because that kind of throws us right into the verse. In verse 16, therefore we do not lose heart. That picture is going to help us remember what goes here, but we'll remember the words lose heart. Okay, and how this works is as I read the verse, you're going to read it out loud with me. It doesn't do good if you're just listening as much as it would to actually speak the words. And I once heard a newscaster talk about how do they remember people's names that they're about to interview, and just speaking it out loud 3 times beforehand, and then they could remember it. So there is something to just speaking things out loud for our own memory. And then where I've erased those words, you're going to speak them out loud and I'm not going to. So that way that helps us to make sure that we're actually remembering. And the words are therefore and lose heart. Okay, here we go from the beginning. 2 Corinthians 4:16 through 18. We do not, even though our outward man is perishing, yet the inward man is being renewed day by day. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, is working for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory, while we do not look at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporary, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Okay. And how about we erase even though to start the next sentence as well. And then so the picture was pointing outward, so let's go ahead and erase outward man. Okay? Even though outward man. All right, so let's say it all together again. 2 Corinthians 4:16 through 18. We do not, our is perishing, yet the inward man is being renewed day by day. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, is working for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory, while we do not look at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporary, but the things which are not seen are eternal. All right, so we've got this poor flower here perishing. So let's erase perishing. And the inward man, that's where our arrows are pointing inward. All right, and let's say that all together. So this time we're going to remember perishing inward man. 2 Corinthians 4:16 through 18. We do not, our is, yet the is being renewed day by day. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, is working for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory, while we do not look at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporary, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Okay, we'll go ahead and just erase renewed and day by day. Renewed day by day. All right. 2 Corinthians 4, 16 through 18. We do not our is yet the is being for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, is working for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory, while we do not look at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporary, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Okay, and then we've got the light here, so we'll erase light affliction. And then which is but for a, and then we've got our little clock here, so moment. Light affliction moment. Let's go through that again. 2 Corinthians 4, 16 through 18. We do not our is yet the is being for our which is but for a is working for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory, while we do not look at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporary, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Okay, and then we've got, you know what, let's go ahead and erase some of this verse. So how about we'll erase Corinthians and 4. So we've got to remember where it is also. So 2 Corinthians 4, 16 through 18, and then we'll erase working. And we see the little guy working here will help us remember. All right, starting from the beginning, 2, 16 through 18. We do not our is yet the is being for our which is but for a is for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory, while we do not look at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporary, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Okay, is working for us a far, how about, let's erase more exceeding. And so just remember, this is more than it was, and it's just exceeding expectations. So more exceeding. And we'll go ahead and erase eternal as well. Exceeding eternal. More exceeding eternal. Okay. Starting from the beginning, 2, 16 through 18. We do not our is yet the is being for our which is but for a is for us a far and weight of glory, while we do not look at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporary, but the things which are not seen are eternal. All right, let's go ahead and erase weight and glory. Okay, Leave a little bit of marker there so I can remember where the word is. And I'll just go ahead and erase do not. Weight of glory, and while we do not. All right. 2nd, 16 through 18. We do not, our is, yet the, is being, for our, which is but for a, is for us afar, and of, while we look at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporary, but the things which are not seen are eternal. All right, and hope you're saying these out loud. Okay, I just realized I forgot to underline some of those words. But let's go ahead and erase look and then seen. And then this is to represent not seen. So we do not look at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. All right, ready? Oh, 2nd, 16 through 18. We do not, our is, yet the is being, for our, which is but for a, is for us afar, and of, while we at the things which are, but at the things which are. For the things which are seen are temporary, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Okay, so I'm going to erase 4 at the beginning of this, just so we can remember how it starts. For the things which are seen, and that's what our picture relates to, someone seeing something. The things which are seen are, and then temporary. Okay, and I'll erase things as well. So in looking at this, we'll remember for the things which are seen are temporary. And let's go ahead and erase 16 through 18. Here we go. 2nd, we do not, our is, yet the is being, for our, which is but for a, is for us afar, and of, while we at the things which are, but at the things which are, the which are, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Okay, so how about, but the things which are not seen. Okay, the thing, but the things which are not seen are, and we'll go ahead and erase eternal. And then let's go up here so we can just remember the entirety of how the verse begins and erase the 2 for 2 Corinthians. Okay. Yeah, we'll just end with that. Okay, starting now. Through we do not our is yet the is being for our which is but for a is for us a far and of while we at the things which are but at the things which are the which are but the are. All right, that's it. We'll keep going over this week until we get it all down. Shalom.